everybody, welcome to Smoking Table. Here's episode 13. I'm Dre.
I'm Jay.
Turk, shut up.
And
I'm so sorry.
we don't have Bob tonight. He's at home with the sniffles. Alright, so before we start our episode, today is October 21st, 2015, and it is the day that Marty McFly went into the future and Back to the Future 2. Yeah, Back to the Future 2.
The second one.
Yeah, there you go. And we're gonna talk about that later and some of the things that he predicted and that they didn't predict. They were way off. And we have some stuff in weed news for national and local this week. And then we have the weed etiquettes.
Yeah, we borrowed 20 weed etiquette things from the weed blog that we are going to put out there for listeners, because in weed news today we get the gist of how a lot of people are doing a little weed experimentation. So we're going to put out some etiquette rules to help you guys out in your ventures. And we're going to end it with the face melt that blew up the internet and crashed Fandango and tickets.com.
Star Wars. The final trailer before the actual movie came out. Tickets were on sale like right after and it exploded. It was amazing. I know
I have to show you guys because I think I'm the only one who saw this, but on the news today actually, they had a video of John Boyega watching the trailer for Star Wars.
Yeah, you were telling me about that earlier. I didn't see it.
I gotta show that to you guys. And we're going to put that up on the site so you guys can see it too, because, I mean, if you think you're excited about it, he's in the
Black
movie.
Jedi.
He's in the movie and he went nuts.
I own a lightsaber. I'm in the same class as Samuel L. Jackson, motherfuckers. There's only two of us.
True. Shout out to Samuel L. Jackson. I want Samuel L. Jackson to come back in the
He's
Star Wars.
dead. Didn't his head get chopped off?
No, his arm got chopped off. He flew out of fucking.
There you go. That's what happened.
Alright, but let's start with weed news. The Gallup poll that was released today on whether or not people support the use of marijuana showed for the first time the closest that we've ever been. The biggest number that it's been in history as far as percentage-wise. But, I mean, we are also reminiscent of Florida as far as 2 points shy of a supermajority nationally of people who are for it. Of course, the national polls have their similar breakdowns. The older you are, the less you are for it. Even the older crowd is coming around. I think that they were saying basically that 1938 was the cutoff as far as having a supermajority opposed to it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's somebody who is currently 80 years old. 80-ish.
And people over that age, they really don't give a shit what happens. I mean, they don't care for weed. They don't need it. They're ready to die.
But of course, like I said, the national average is 58%. Broken down by age, 18 to 34 years old is at 71%. So, I mean, that's beyond 2/3 majority. 35 to 49-year-olds are at 64%. 50 to 64-year-olds are at 58%. And the 65 and older crowd are still at 35%. I mean, it's still 1 in 3 in the lowest category.
That's still not a bad number. That's pretty awesome. So
everybody else is above 50%.
I like that the middle-aged people are 64%. Those are like the business class people and the people like out there being responsible, still smoking weed. I'm good for weed. I want weed.
It's funny that you bring that up because, I mean, there was actually, as we move on, there was a poll that actually said that marijuana use has doubled amongst U.S. adults. Now, although this sounds contradictory to what we advocate here and what we fight for, I'm always willing to look at the other side of things. And in reading this, I found that as the culture shifts, as people are more acceptant to marijuana use for responsible adults, I mean, of course, that is what attributes to more people trying it. I mean, the survey was more so about who've used within the last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the nostalgia effect, and that's to be expected. But what I also found out in this is that while adult usage is at a 10-year high, there's also, as a part of this study, that marijuana dependence or abuse is has declined in decades time.
Okay, yeah. You were telling me about that earlier, but I was thinking, like, so is that marijuana abuse based off, like, people who are in rehab for marijuana, or people, how do you classify marijuana addiction?
They were classifying addiction more so as people who couldn't cut down on use, or people who couldn't take a break from use.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're an everyday user, can you go a whole week or a month or two without? I mean, if you can't, then, I mean, that shows dependency.
Yeah.
If you're a 3, 4, or 5 joint a day person, can you cut down to 1? I mean, if not, I mean,
I wish I was a 5 joint a day person.
And the thing about it is that, I mean, even most 5 joint a day people that I know, like, you have that grace period, that time during the end of the month where you didn't budget right or something came up. So here you are 3-4 days before payday where you're out and you just got to kind of struggle through those days. And I mean, everybody goes through it. So,
yeah.
I mean, so I don't know if it's, I mean,
I know when those days come, I'm straight. So, like, I'm chilling. I don't care. I'm not trying to, like,
exactly. So I mean,
blow dudes for weed behind Target.
It's kind of how they rate dependency, but I mean, also you have to think about 10 years ago. I mean, all the studies that were done were biased to drug addiction, anyways.
Fucking bastards.
So I mean, does that account for the decline as well? I mean, it's shifty the way that you can. I mean, there's so many different attributes that you can sift through at this point. But I mean, it's good to know it's good that it's being acknowledged, at least. Because, I mean, if you read just the headline, it's, everybody's out smoking pot now. But, I mean, it's the nostalgia effect. I mean, that's going to be on anything once it breaks prohibition. I mean, when alcohol finally broke prohibition, I mean, everybody drank. I mean, who didn't? But once it becomes that everyday part of society, it's like, it loses that. I mean, it's like, even people who aren't drinkers drink on New Year's.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things.
So, yeah. I feel like if everybody in the U.S. could smoke, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It'd be, like, huge, and everybody'd be like, yeah, I'm stoned, I can smoke whenever I want, but then they'd realize not everyone can be stoned at once. That's my biggest fear about legalizing it nationwide is what if there's like 5 minutes? 5 minutes is all it takes of everyone being stoned at once. It just shuts down. Like, everyone just shuts down for 5 minutes and we're all just doing
But I mean,
nothing.
it's not terrible either, though. I mean, you think, like, there are still some foreign countries that still have siestas and stuff like that where, in the middle of the day, like, in the middle of the work day, like, the whole town shuts down.
Stop whatever you're fucking doing. It's a siesta.
And, I mean, they still function. I mean, we're one of the very few countries that, it's normal to work 40-plus hours a week.
Yeah.
And in local news, the Florida Supreme Court has ordered their oral argument for medical marijuana. That's kind of hard to say. All right, so they finally set a date. I mean, as you know, we reported earlier that back in August, United for Care and the people over at People United got their 68,000 votes that they needed in order to have their amendment put before the Florida Supreme Court before
Yeah.
They have 10% of the 683,000 that they need to get on the ballot. Well, now that everybody's coming back to session, they have been scheduled for December 8th at 9 a.m. with the Florida Supreme Court to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that. So, congratulations, yay for medical.
Yay.
50% of the process is on its way. Now we got to get recreational side going on that. Each side will have 20 minutes for oral arguments. I think it's already been reviewed by the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. And so, like I said, shout out to those guys.
That's going to be awesome.
They've been putting in the work. So, moving on. While we're on this, before we get into the face melt of Star Wars and the craziness of Back to the Future, keeping with the marijuana theme, and for all of these new nostalgia smokers out there, because you guys are new and we love you. We want you to come out and experience it for yourself and hopefully join the community, at least in avocation. And, be able to tell your friends and neighbors that weed isn't all that bad. Because if all these people are trying it, then, if it's doubled, then it's just that much more likely that somebody who has tried marijuana recently and that person isn't an evil person. All right, so on Weed Blog, this was actually posted on the 20th, which was what, yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still kind of new. Weed Blog posted 20. We got a smorgasbord of tips around here for you guys who are just starting out or wanting to experience or just get the nostalgia effect just to say you did it and say you're cool to your kids.
Hey kids, I know what you're doing. I've smoked before.
We're going to give you the jump start into weed etiquette because, the only thing worse than trying something new is trying something new blindly. So we are going to give you 20 tips. Come on. Even Dave Letterman only gave you a list of 5 things.
Better than Dave Letterman.
We're going to give you 20 tips for your marijuana venture so that you don't upset the locals. Starting with number 1, we're going to go down this whole list. And I said, shout out to Weed Blogs for posting this. Number 1, always give guests the green hit. I will admit to not always doing this because it's my house.
Yeah, I don't know. I follow rotation more than guests.
I feel like as this being my house, as the host, I feel like it's my job to start the rotation. Because I feel like this goes either way. I feel like some people you give the first hit as being a host.
Yeah.
And some people you take the first hit as a welcome in. Because, some people feel weird about taking the first hit in your house. Especially if they haven't been there before. I
get what you're saying. So, you hitting the bowl means, and then
if you grab it,
means,
because if you just give them the bowl, they're like, do I go ahead and hit this here? If there's a certain room in the house that you smoke in, do you smoke outside? I don't want to just fire this up.
Always do that, yeah.
So I feel either way on this, but I can understand, if you're that gracious host or if, your friends come over your house all the time. If your house is a chill spot, then I think that, you should be offering the first. You should offer the green hit.
Here's a green hit, my friend. Welcome to my casa.
All right, so number 2, cornering bowls. This I do a lot, and I think this I get pissed about when other people don't.
Yeah.
This I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum of. Save some of the green hit, corner the bowl. Don't fire up all the
Don't
green.
just light the bitch and go in the middle.
Exactly.
If you're getting green hit, depending on who's there. If you're doing 3 people, it's like a pie. You just go and portion it.
And I understand this, sometimes you can't always do it depending on how the bowl's shaped and whatnot, but
a skilled smoker can always corner a bowl and be good with it.
Yeah, I can corner a 1E.
Yeah, I can too.
But I mean, for newbies, I mean, at least try. I mean, just you basically just put the lighter on the edge of the bowl so that you're not burning the whole green at once.
There you go. Speaking of newbies, Derek the Jedi was kind of confused about that one. So
that's right. We all learn together. I mean, everybody's at a different stage of like their life in this circle.
Stoning.
So
So
we learn together.
So if someone gives you greens, Derek,
Uh-huh.
you only burn a portion of the green, and then you give it back.
Unless it is in portable form, you don't.
You just hit it all.
You don't corner the blunt. You don't corner the joint.
Corner the blunt, have to start running down the side. That'd be amazing. All right.
Number 3, reloading bowls as host. I do this. I think everybody does this. Always reload the bowl as the host.
If it's my weed, like if I'm hosting in my house, it's my weed, yes. But I don't touch other people's.
If it's somebody else's, yeah.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
But I mean, if you're the host and it's your weed, you always.
I had someone walk into my house once, and they put an ounce on the table, and they told me to pack a bowl, and then they just kept telling me to pack bowls, and I felt weird because I just kept packing their weed.
I will say this though, because I'm glad you pointed it out, because Weed Blog points that out as well. Like, if you are the person in rotation though, that you got the ash hit, then I would tell you to repack it.
Yeah, if it comes at the end.
Because I mean, at the same time, a lot of people have a certain way that they pack their bowls and stuff like that. So I mean, if you're preparing your first hit, basically.
Yeah.
Because after that, the bowl's the bowl. But I mean, if there's a certain way that you prepare your first hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that. Okay. Okay, yeah, I get that.
All right, let's see. Number 4 is warn others when the bowl's almost cashed.
Nope, I don't do that.
Whatever.
I'll hit it, and I'll be like, I don't think there's any left. There you go.
I always do what they actually put on here, which is say, there may be another hit in here. Not sure. There may be one more. Try it at your own risk. Because I never.
I think
know what it's like to get that ash hit, especially in like a pipe.
I think I inform you. I know I don't inform a lot of people. Because I remember thinking back to a couple of nights ago when we smoked, and I was like looking at my pipe, and I was like, yeah. I didn't. So, yeah, yeah. That means I like it.
Always have a poker is number 5, which I agree with. I think paper clips are outdated. I think paper clips have been outdated since the days of Staples. And since I have a shit ton of paper clips, that's all I use paper clips for pretty much at this point. But they suggest bobby pins, papers, kebabs, skit sticks. I think last time we went to the head shop, we saw the ashtrays that have the pokers. And
those were cool. That's what I would need because I lose all that other shit. I just do the suction cup hand. I'm done. I get it out with that. I just do that.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Pondy left, always. This is anybody who doesn't understand that, pass it to the left.
Oh, thank you. I'm not equivalent to Jamaican me sounds.
What?
I mean, it's Pasta Cutchy lyrics. I mean, that solidified it in cannabis culture forever. It's always clockwise. The time passes the same way the blunt passes.
Yeah. I don't know. But like if I'm going, maybe you could do clockwise. I think so.
Always to the left.
I don't like being at the bottom of the clock. Like if I'm sitting in a circle and I think about the clock concept, then I'm like, I don't like being at 6 p.m. And I know what you're about to say is the clock can start wherever I want it to start. But I always feel like the other side would be better.
Stand in rotation. Number 7, puff, puff, give, puff, puff, pass, however you want to say it. This applies to, again, bongs and joints. There are different rules joints and blunts.
Blunts. I was going to say bongs take 2 puffs.
We'll cut that back. Blunts and joints. There are different rules for bongs. Bongs is 1 rip. Clear your rip and give it up. But when it comes to joints, when it comes to blunts, puff, puff, pass.
2 hits pass. All right.
Number 8, camping the joint. If you got something to say, take your hit, pass, and say it.
Yes. Do not try having a conversation in the middle of rotation, because I'm not paying attention to how fucking word you say. I'm staring at that blunt.
Everybody in the rotation doing the fucking cat dance of their eyes following the blunt.
Are you listening to me? No, I'm watching the fucking blunt.
And nobody hears your story. So, you're gonna smoke. I mean, if it's a rotation, solo dolo. If you're talking to yourself, I don't know if that rule applies. I mean, I'm sure it applies so that you don't waste your weed. But if you're in a cipher, if you're in a circle,
if you tell yourself to stop camping on a blunt, then you need to stop smoking that blunt. Because you're already high enough to tell yourself.
Number 9 goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Ask if it's okay to smoke in the house. Don't just assume it's okay to smoke in somebody's house. I mean, some people smoke outside. Some people have a designated room. Some people have a designated space. Some people do bathroom with the exhaust fan running and the shower on. So that goes back to what I'm saying. You know, when it comes to giving somebody the green hit, you know, if it's somebody who's been to your house before, okay. If it's somebody who hasn't been to your house, they don't necessarily know where you smoke, so don't give them anxiety before you even smoke. And
take this pipe and just sit there. Figure out what to do. Don't smoke in my living room. Just kidding.
What?
Number 10 is the reason I don't have roommates.
Don't smoke weed that is not yours.
Don't ever smoke weed that isn't yours without asking. I mean, don't. That goes for so many other. I mean, that rule applies universally to everything. Don't take anybody's anything without asking.
I'm not gonna comment on this one because I used to be a horrible roommate to my uncle, so we're gonna leave that one alone for me.
Unless you have roommates and it's been, a couple of days and you ain't got money for food and you seen something that they had from like Friday night and it's like Sunday afternoon, it's getting to that testy point. So,
oh, you're being nice. I'm talking about Saturday. If you don't eat that bitch at nighttime and you've already woken up and left, that means it's all hands on me to eat it.
All right.
Don't be my roommate. All right.
Don't talk about dealers openly.
Yeah, that's a given right there.
I mean, even if you don't, not everybody understands everybody's code, so I get that. If you're going to, if you have to use lay terms, that should already be a key sign to have to do it in a discreet area.
Yeah.
Also, don't take your slang somewhere else and think it's gonna work.
Let me get an Oscar. A what? The fuck are you talking about? An Oscar. You mean an onion? No, I want an obtuse.
What?
Exactly.
Got it.
What the fuck did you just say?
Number 12. No smashing nugs on top of other nugs. Always breaking nugs up. This depends. Like I said, this is another rule that, some people don't break up the nugs. Some people break off nugs and just, because the more you handle it, the more keef you lose and stuff but the mashing of the nugs, I completely agree with. Either you have a nug big enough for your bowl, or you just smoke a half bowl of that nug. Don't go mushing them on top of each other and stuff like that, because then you clog them.
Yeah. There's no point in that. Finish the bowl you're smoking and be done. And, with that, too, no smashing. Yeah, I get it now. I went to thinking that, because when I'm breaking up weed, and I'm smoking with somebody and they bring in their weed, I want them to do their own weed right here.
Yeah.
I want them to be away from my weed. Even if it's the same kind, I'll mix it up. But if not, just stay over there. Let me pack a bowl of mine, smoke all of it, clean it out, then put yours in.
No, because I mean it clogs it, and then you don't find out that it's clogged until
you go to hit it, and you
then,
burn the
like,
shit
you
out of your
burn-
top.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you got nothing out of it.
and then you're pissed. Then you take. That's when you need a paper clip.
Yeah.
You stick it underneath the burns, poke through the hole, and then you light it again. You're good to go.
13, clean your smoking devices. I usually clean mine like once a week. I usually set aside a day, or a good hour. I mean,
Get
Just to-
intimate and just clean your pipes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I break out the Formula 420. I got the alcohol. I
Mhm.
got the abrasive and non-abrasive pipe cleaners. I sit down and I put in the work, man, because there's nothing better than that first hit out of a clean pipe.
Do you play classical music in the background while you're doing it?
No, I'll put on some music though. I get into it.
That'd be amazing. Sit there looking like Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's actually started to become like Wednesdays. It's like
Oh, yeah.
before the show, like I'll clean.
Yeah, because I know that was pretty clean. When
Yeah.
I started, it was awesome. Man.
See, I care. I contribute.
Ooh.
Number 14. No salivating on pipes, joints, blunts, anything. Curl your lips inward a little bit like you're kissing somebody you really don't want to kiss. And that's how you approach it. Don't wet up people's stuff, man.
I know a different term other than salivating for that, but I won't say it on the podcast.
Yeah, don't say the derogatory.
I'm going to avoid that word.
We blog as well said that they were going to avoid the derogatory term. Don't ever use that term.
Don't use that word. It's a bad word.
But yeah, come on. I mean, a lot of this is common sense, but I mean, some people don't know some of these things. Some of these things, I mean, there's something for everybody. There's something for the novice. There's something for people who've been smoking for a while. Always fix the run on your joints and your blunts. Blunts are preferred because they usually don't run.
Yeah.
But I'm a joint enthusiast myself.
If you're smoking a joint and you go to pass it to me, and half of it's run down because instead of stopping the run, you just let it go through and you smoked it, I'll be upset because you're giving me like this much like pre-ash half smoked shit. This is gonna fall off, and I'm upset. If you see a run, just stop it. You know what to do. You know how to stop it. Don't look at it and go, okay, I'm gonna. I never saw it and pass it. That's not cool.
Speaking of like slangs from different areas, like down south we call it canoeing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, I just caught it the run. It's running. It's the run.
I heard canoeing first.
I hate this one.
Don't leave smoke in the chamber.
It's instantly stale. It does not taste good for the next person.
I will say, at the same time, choose your pieces wisely. Like, I mean, if you are a novice, don't go out getting big, huge pieces because you're going to fill those pieces because that's how your whole smoking like mechanics work, and then you're not going to be able to clear that piece. So I mean, if you're a novice, have a small piece.
Yeah.
Once that small piece isn't working for you anymore, go out and buy a bigger piece.
Don't try to kill yourself right away. You can't handle a 20-foot bong right off the bat.
Go get a 5-inch beaker or something like that, and then move up to an 8 or start out with an 8. If you think you can handle an 8, move up to a 12. I mean, don't go ripping the 6-footer. I mean, that's just a waste.
I honestly feel like bubblers are a good start because, like, into bongs. Because with pipes, I like pipes. I stick with pipes because I prefer pipes.
Yeah.
I love bubblers. I like bongs. I'm not a big fan of them, but I still prefer just a regular pipe before I do a bubbler or anything. But if you're gonna get into bongs, try bubblers first because they're like the easiest transition into a bong.
Yeah, and bubbler pipe's awesome.
They're so amazing, and they get you some good hits too.
Yeah. All right, so don't leave smoke in the chamber. I mean, if you can't clear the hit, I mean, And I always give a free pass on the first rotation, just because you were ambitious.
You took
I
something
get
you
it.
weren't expecting.
I get it. You were ambitious. By the second rotation, you should know where your limit is. So don't waste weed and don't give anybody your
Nasty.
can't clear.
Yeah, earlier I confused myself because I ripped that and I didn't realize I had left so much in the chip. I'm like, oh my god, fuck, there's so much left in there. I still got to get that.
Number 17, if you're sick, don't hit it.
Don't.
I mean, that's one of those golden rules across the board too. These aren't just marijuana rules. These are some. That's one of those rules that apply across the board.
If you're sick, don't bite my sandwich.
Exactly. 18. Pull the bowl from the bottom of the nug and work your way upward. I will say that I'm a grinder person. I don't put whole nugs in my bowl. I like saving my keef. And that's the thing. A lot of weed enthusiasts will get on you about grinding your weed or touching it too much and everything like that. Like me, I like straight keef hits.
Oh god, I do too. I took one this morning. I used maybe not much keef, a little pinch of keef. Put it on top of my pipe and I hit it. It was literally one rip. And I was like, I'm good. And then 20 minutes later it hit me. I'm like, I'm high as fuck. I'm just fucking coasting now. I was just floating through a space going where I needed to go. I was pretty high.
I also like keef sandwiches. It's a nice way to add a boost to your bowl.
The weed, the keef, the weed.
What?
See, that's the only, not dabs. Yeah, dabs. You take the weed, put some keef on top, add a little kiss of dab on top of it, and you just burn around it, and then it becomes, it melts and solidifies around the weed and stuff. Yeah. And then it becomes a double hit, and it's amazing. It's like science and math happening at once, and you love it.
Number 19, don't blast rookies. I think that this is probably one of the most important rules in all of this, just because the after effect of that is what gives marijuana its stigma. First of all, rookies don't sprint. It's a marathon. Don't try to keep up with your friends who are obviously experienced smokers. That's just some word to the wise on, any level.
Don't try to pressure somebody into smoking more than they need to.
But also for people I've shown you the video of, I think it was Roscoe from DPG. When they made him do a dab hit and he passed out.
Yeah.
Those kind of experiences are what turn people off from marijuana. And it's what makes people think that marijuana is dangerous, because don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Dabbing is hard, bro.
What is it?
Dabbing is...
We'll tell you it's complicated. But dabbing is crazy. I won't dab. Alright, so be kind to rookies. Take care of them. They want to smoke. Show them how to smoke the right way.
Number 20, I don't personally borrow people's pieces, but people borrow my pieces, and I would love if they did number 20.
Okay.
No, I think it's a cool little thingy. Even more so because I would be on the receiving end. But even just in general, number 20 is basically return pieces with weed in them. If you borrow somebody's pipe or if you borrow somebody's bong or something like that, return it with weed in it. I don't expect it, but that would just make it all the more sweet. But I don't also require it either. I don't ever feel like you're obligated to do that. But
When I return your pipe,
I thought it
I'm
was a
gonna
cool.
put weed in it.
I thought it was a nifty little idea.
It is a nifty little idea. It's like a little present. Like, thank you for your hospitality, your hospitality. I liked it. It was a nice little. That's a nice little package to a 20 list. You know, like number 20 just ends on a good note.
Yeah.
It makes you feel happy. You're like, yeah.
I'm happy now.
I think 19 and 20 were pretty.
Yeah, be good people. Be good smokers.
Be nice to rookie. All right, so now moving on to. I guess we got to start with the 80s and work our way up to.
No.
This is just 80s nostalgia all over
It's
now.
all over. It's amazing. It's just the whole little segment is just about everything that you loved, and that it's just now all really awesome. And it just so happens to happen at the same time. Which I also have to say, 2015 is my favorite year of all time. Because not only do we have this cool Back to the Future Day, and we also Star Wars Episode 7, but this is also the year that Jurassic Park came back.
Yeah.
And that we got, what was that other thing? Oh, there was another thing.
50 Shades of Grey?
No.
I don't know. No, not really.
Something else from the 90s came back. Alright, I'll figure it out later.
Fuck. Oh, Girl Meets World came out.
Well, Girl Meets
SpongeBob.
Not SpongeBob. No, there was something else that came out with Jurassic World that was very similar to something in the 90s.
Fuck.
And late 80s.
I don't know. Ghostbusters is coming out with a movie. I don't think that's going to be out this year, though.
That's not a movie. Oh, so upset about it.
It's not a movie, man. Right?
Alright, so let's go on into this Back to the Future thing.
Alright. So we figured we'd go the route that everybody else did on this one and basically give you what did and didn't come true about the Back to the Future 2 movie on this historic day of October 21st, 2015.
Terminator!
Because I think it's so awesome that, like, and especially for our age group, you know, the people who saw Back to the Future. I mean, we're the only people who care about this, really. It's our age group, the people who saw Back to the Future.
Exactly.
Like, in that time. Handheld wireless video games is real. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I still play the GameCube every now and then, and it bothers me because the controllers don't reach my couch. So I have to sit on the floor when I play the GameCube.
Nice.
And the other thing is the Wii controllers, for some reason, won't play the GameCube games. So when I play the GameCube games on the Wii, I still have to use the GameCube controllers.
Yeah, and sit on the floor.
Let's see. Obsession with 3D movies and sequels. We haven't actually got the Jaws 19, but I mean...
Thank God.
Had Fast and Furious been back in the 80s, we would have been at Fast and Furious 19 by now.
Oh, God, yeah.
We're at 7 already, and it started in, what, the late 90s?
Yeah. Vin Diesel would be driving around in a scooter. That'd be the shit, watching Vin Diesel fly out of a building in a scooter. I'm Jason Statham, coming after you.
Handheld computers, obviously.
Yeah, well, that was an easy one.
Baseball teams in Florida.
Miami.
We actually have 2 now. We have the Miami Marlins, which they weren't all that off on. I mean, the Miami Marlins started out the Florida Marlins, but they were the Miami Marlins minor league. We also have Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays did win a championship, right?
Yeah.
The Marlins also won a championship, so both Florida teams have won championship. Video conferencing. I mean, anything to do with technology, they were pretty much spot on with.
I love video conferencing.
Wall-mounted
amazing.
TVs, widescreen TVs.
You've never done video conferencing? I'm going to video conference you.
Really?
Do you have a laptop?
Yeah.
Cool.
Auto-lacing sneakers. By the way, this whole list we got from Gawker. I mean, we're going to scour the internet for a couple other things, but self-lacing shoes.
I would love self-lacing shoes.
There are a few pairs out there. I mean, I've
What?
had
What
a
the
pair.
fuck?
They've been self-lacing shoes forever.
What?
Not like what I'm thinking in
Not
my
like
head.
they don't lace themselves, but I mean, like, you know, like they were the ripcord shoes. They're the shoes that have laces on them that aren't really laces, like the slipper shoes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I've seen those, yeah.
Like, I mean, there's versions. I mean,
I just for like a year I was just wearing like slides, those little Nike Puma ones you just slip your feet into. You're like,
I had the ones with the spats that like clicked into place and everything.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Being consumed by electronics, of course, that's gonna come with the wave of electronics.
That's a lie. I barely look at any of my electronics every day.
Yeah. Performance enhancing and drugs being a problem in sports. Who didn't see that coming?
I think the performance enhancing drugs was like, yeah.
For having the bionic arm. Compost fuel.
Yeah.
Flying cars are still prototypes. I mean, there's like one.
That's a plane.
There's a couple of them, yeah.
That's a motherfucking plane. It has wings. It's a plane. Cars, flying cars. I don't care what you do, how many concepts you come up with it, but if you have wings, it's a plane.
Hoverboards still aren't in mass production either.
No, but they're working on it. Lexus's. I got lost in it and watched all of Lexus and hoverboard stuff.
Dehydrated food.
That's real.
All right. So where did they go wrong? Cubs could. I mean, they're not.
They're done. They're out.
Is the game? The game is tonight, right?
Yeah, the game's going on right now.
What's the score?
Cubs gone. Oh my god, it'd be amazing. But it says they sweep the Marlins.
Oh yeah, I mean the Marlins aren't in it, but
the sweep wasn't either.
Cubs are down 6-1 at the bottom of the fifth right now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The Cubs aren't winning this year. Damn it! I wanted the world to end.
The world would have ended.
Sad note: there will be no Queen Diana. I mean, that was one part where they got it wrong. Double ties aren't acceptable.
What?
Double ties will never be acceptable.
I would love a double tie right now.
Fax machines aren't the preferred form of communication. Pontiac dealerships aren't still around.
So moving on to Star Wars. Monday.
Yeah.
Star Wars, the final trailer for the Star Wars Force Awakens movie, which is coming out in December. The final trailer played the other night, and it was fucking incredible.
I watched it 20 times.
Oh my god, it was amazing. I watched it like 12 times, and I'm just like, this is incredible. I was trying to catch it during the game, and I somehow missed it at halftime, so I had to watch it on YouTube.
You told me.
I know, I was watching halftime, and I missed it. I didn't see it. So I instantly went to YouTube and watched it. It was incredible.
Yeah, later on that night, you told me about it, and I was like, okay. So I thought later I would check it out. Like an hour later, I'd check out YouTube. It's just on there. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
It was full face melt. Like, when I saw it, it was like, done. And it's funny because it actually crashed both movie ticket sites.
Yeah, because they went on sale right after the trailer was done. And that's all any Star Wars fans needed. Any doubts or anything you had about this upcoming movie after that trailer, they were gone.
Yeah, it's not even just Star Wars fans. Like, they actually showed on the news the next day John Boyega watching a movie clip of the watching the trailer.
Yeah.
And he even went nuts. Like,
crazy.
He's in the movie and he went jump over the couch nuts over it. So
if I saw myself with a fucking lightsaber, I'd fucking flip out too.
Yeah, because it's only sticks when they're like filming it. Right?
Yeah, it's only sticks. So you see that first. You see that lightsaber come up. You're like, ah!
That's awesome,
that
man.
so
like,
cool, bro.
I don't think we're gonna be able to get him to play Franklin now.
Nah, he's too big time.
It's over. It's done with.
I don't know.
So shout outs to John Boyega, man. Like this movie is going to be incredible.
And the best part about like the John Boyega's set now because he is the main hero of the movie. He's gonna be in the trilogy.
Yeah.
The trilogy will be about Finn, the character he's playing, getting the Force. It's a black guy being in Star Wars as the main fucking character.
That is pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
And they finally got a shot of him not breathing
Heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first two trailers just him in a stormtrooper outfit in the woods. Now he's like, I'm Finn, bitches. I'm not breathing heavy now. Even though there was one scene in the desert.
Yeah.
Where he was breathing slight heavy.
And like Even the shortest one, like, he was breathing heavily when he opened the lightsaber.
I would be too.
I would, like, yeah.
I'd be like, gotta get rid of my saber boner. Because this is just too much power in one hand. This is a fucking lightsaber, bitches.
Alright, so that pretty much wraps up our show for today. We hope that you enjoyed. We hope that you liked the 80 nostalgia that we brought to you. I mean, for me, between Back to the Future and Star Wars, I got completely into it. I was looking up 80s cartoons, 80s commercials. Like, it was fun going back for an episode. But
no one cared about them. Animals are doing their own fucking thing.
Like cat dog and shit.
So all those are the 80s episode. Be sure to check us out on Newer Technology.
Well, here's our beeper number.
I don't think we have a beeper number.
Here's my AOL website. My AOL email.
Yeah.
Here's my Facebook.
My MySpace.
Oh, yeah, that. God damn it.
So check us out on all of the various sites. As we've said before, if you haven't gotten your petitions in, get your petitions in for medical and recreational. Be active. Be out there. Get your voice heard. Be the change that you want.
So, yeah, check us out. Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube. The YouTube page is pretty cool. And I think that's about it. We have a Twitter, too. I always forget the Twitter. We have a Twitter, too. Check out the Twitter. And, yeah, so this has been Dre.
Jay.
Derek the Jedi.
Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Meow.
Meow.
Meow.